Hey everyone, welcome back. Frank here with Makeshift Frank. Today I'm going to be going over an old joiner I have. I have a Craftsman 6 1/8 inch joiner that a good friend of mine gave me. But the problem is he hadn't used it in a few years and it has a little bit of surface rust on it, and one of the links holding the fence onto the joiner is broke. So today I'm going to go over how I fixed it and how I got it running right. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I want to remind everyone that if you like these videos, or if I've helped you to help me, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to ring that bell. Don't miss any of the videos I post. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, so this is the joiner. I've cleaned it up quite a bit. A good friend of mine gave me this, and he hadn't used it in a few years. It had a little bit of surface rust on it, and one of the links was broke. Here's a picture of it, so you can see what it looked like before I got it. Now, these two things, there's two of these, they're links, and it holds the fence on to the joiner. And one of them was broke. I took this bolt and I took this gutter bracket stuff, and I tried to clamp it back together like that, just, you know, for temporary until I can find a replacement one. And that seemed to work. But, you know, I don't really like that. So what I did was I mailed this to my dad, and he helped me make another one. He has some scrap metal, and he's real good at metalwork and stuff. And what he did is he made me a new link. Now, the problem was this has got threads inside this one, but they're metric threads, and he didn't have any metric thread taps. So what we did is we got this bolt and welded the bolt onto it, and now we just screw into that. And this works very well. All right, so you could tell from the pictures that this was a little bit rusty. And there's the fence, and there's the rest of it. Now I've got it all cleaned up pretty good. Now I want to show you how I did this. The first thing I did was I took this WD-40 and I sprayed all over it, and I let it soak in and soften the rust up. All right. Then what I did is I took this random orbital sander and this green Scotch Brite pad, and I just stuck it on there like this and sanded it. And believe it or not, that actually worked, and it did take the rust off. But it was slow going, and I thought I could speed it up by using a wire brush and an angle grinder. So that's what I did. I used this. This is just an angle grinder and a wire cut brush. And this worked exceptionally well. This took the rust off in a matter of minutes. It cleaned it right up. And as far as I can tell, it didn't leave any damage to the surface of the joiner. This worked great. Okay, so now one thing I did have to do is I had to take the fence off because I couldn't quite get under it to get the rust off. Now we're going to put it back together. All right, so we got it back together and it works good. All we got to do now is put these little clips back on the ends of these pins to keep these links from falling off. All right, so let's put this back on. Let's put these clips back on. And then I'll put the blade guard back on and put the blades in. All right, let's do it. Now there's probably a special tool for this, but I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to use these pliers and this hammer. All right, so now we've got the clips back on. One on that side and one on that side. And what this does is it keeps these links from falling out when you unloosen or unscrew this handle right here. Now these are the blades I got for it. They're 6 1/8 inch joiner blades. I got these off Amazon. They didn't cost very much. Okay, so what you need to do is this is your cutter head right here. Now you have these plates. this is a plate, and on the other side, right here, there's a plate. It's got 4 screws in it. You need to take the screws out of the plates, set your blades on it, and screw it back in. Now there's also these 2 screws under each cutter head plate. What that does is set the depth of the blade. You screw it in or out to raise or lower that side of the blade. All right, so let's get that started. So here's our blades. Here's our old blades. This is the cutter head plate. I'm not sure the actual name for it. It's just a plate or a locking plate. You screw that down on top of the blades to hold the blades in place. Now it's important that underneath of this, where the blade goes, you want to keep this clean. Probably help if I take the old blade out, huh? Now, like I was saying, you want to keep this clean. You don't want any like gunk or particles, anything that could throw the trueness of the cutoff. So try to wipe this out and get it smooth. Same with this. You don't want anything that'll keep this from laying flat. So try to wipe this off too. Okay, so now before we lock these blades down, I want to make sure they're the right height. Now, the best way to do this, you want to take a piece of wood and mark a line on it. You want to set that line right on the edge of your table. And when you rotate the blade, it should pull this line forward 1/8 of an inch. That's the height you want to set your blade. And you want both sides of both blades to do that. Okay, do you see that? That's much more than 1/8. That's almost 3/8. Let's check the other side, the other blade, and see how it does. Oh yeah, that's way too much. Now let's check the other sides of both blades. And this side's barely touching it. All right, so we need to adjust these blades. All right, guys, so believe it or not, it's kind of hard to get these perfect. And I've been micro tweaking these screws for like half an hour or more, trying to get them exactly right. And honestly, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe there is, and I'm not doing it right. I don't really know, but I've got it pretty close. Remember, ideally, you want it to pull your line forward 1/8 of an inch. I couldn't get that, but I got close. So watch this. All right. Almost 1/8, about almost 3/8. I mean, almost 3/16. Let's try the other side. Oh, just a little bit more than 3/16. Right about 1/8. And just a hair over 1/8. So I've got all 4 of them between 1/8 and just right at 3/16. I don't know if that's enough to matter. I don't know exactly how accurate it has to be. I know that 1/8 of an inch is ideal. So I'm hoping that this is going to be close enough. We'll see. Okay, now I've got this Gulf wax. Now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to rub the whole surface down with it so it's nice and smooth. A lot of people use paste wax, but I just use this. It's cheap. It's like $1 or $2 a box. You don't have to wait for it to dry. That's why I use this. There, now it should be nice and smooth. Okay, now we're going to put the blade guard back on. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a screw all the way up in there, right up above my finger up here. That's where we screw the fence back in. I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so I got the cutter head guard back on. It's working good. Whoops. I guess it's not working good. I guess I need to fix that. All right, let's do that. Okay, so I had that little spring over top of that, and that was pushing it up too high. I believe the spring goes on the inside underneath this bolt right here. Let's try that. Okay, that right there is a cutter head guard. That's where it screws in at. Can you see this screw? All right, that screw right there goes into that hole. That's a spring. That spring right there goes over that little knob sticking out, and that screw goes into it. I've got the screw in it, and it's screwed into that spring, and I believe that's going to do it. All right, that did it. Now let's fire it up and see if we can get it working right. All right, so I want to also add that this is your out feed table and this is your in feed table. You want your in feed table to be set no more than 1/8 of an inch below your out feed table. Less is okay, but you don't really want to go more. I'm going to try it out on this piece of wood, see if I can clean it up. think it works pretty good. All right, guys, so that about wraps it up. As you can see, the joiner is working, it's functional, and it runs smoothly. I went over the process of how I got that working. So hopefully I've helped someone that maybe if they've got an old joiner or they know where one's at, hopefully it'll help them be able to fix theirs up too. I wish I could have went over the process of making that link, but I don't have the tools to do that with. That's why I had to mail it to my dad. Fortunately, he was able to do that for me. So hey, if you got any comments or questions, leave them below, let me know. If you think I could have done something better or differently, let me know. If any of you have suggestions on how to align your joiner knives, that would be a great help, and I'd love to hear from you. So hey, real quick, I want to remind everyone that if you like these videos or if I've helped you to help me, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any of the videos I post. Thanks again for joining me. Remember, always be careful and always stay safe. See ya.